everyone to Spirit Coffee Talk. We are live on location in Maui. We've been here for a week now.
I think you mean 3 months.
Actually.
3.
Yeah. Feels like 3 months.
Feels like 3 months.
And it has been this amazing journey. We felt called to come here as we teased last week. And it has been this, so last week we talked about anticipation, right? We were like, there's this anticipation energy. What are we feeling? What do you think's gonna happen? And when we were talking last night, we were pleasantly surprised that it was different than we thought. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, quite different. It was gentle. It's been a very gentle experience with Spirit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very present.
Yeah.
And it's not like it wasn't there, but it was just much more gentle than other big spiritual experiences. Mm-hmm. And it was bound to happen that we were going to connect with Spirit, the three of us, coming to such a spiritually charged place on earth, Mother Gaia, that held us so deep. But just like that, like a mother, we all felt like this nurturing, loving presence, and we each had very individual experiences, but we held each other in this safe place. It was beautiful.
Individual and yet still connected. Like you and I would connect on something, you and I would connect on something, Lois and I would connect on something, you and Ginette would connect, like Lois and Lisa, we all had our own individual experiences. We had these beautiful, divine, feminine group experiences, and then we had paired up,
it was an amazing
really
little tribe experience.
Yeah, and
sure.
so gentle, but yet also impactful. Sometimes when I hear the word gentle, I'm like, no, I want more. But I feel like it was gentle yet changing still. Not necessarily subtle is maybe the word I'm looking for. It was gentle but not subtle.
Not subtle. That's
what I'm looking for.
Perfect way to explain it. Yeah. And we did lots.
Yeah, we did.
If you want to be active on the island, we experienced Maui.
Places. Yeah, we saw from volcanoes to lava tubes to waterfalls to wind vortexes on these top high hills.
Yeah.
The ocean.
The craziest
to us.
beaches, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But the vortexes we traveled to all across the island, and then found our spots. We each really connected with spots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was called so strongly to find a waterfall. I didn't know what it was. And then when we found that, the night before we were looking, trying to find the waterfall. I'm like, this is where we need to go, over and over. And it was actually called the Three Bears was another name for it. It was these three beautiful waterfalls plus this fourth one
bonus
that's
fourth one.
yeah,
yeah,
which was a lot more gentle.
Yeah, that was the Spirit one.
Yes. But getting there was an adventure. We had to crawl over these crazy slippery rocks and underneath this bridge, and I was just drawn to it and that power within the water. And then we experienced fire and air, and
the elements were really strong. And that was one thing that Spirit kind of guided us in the beginning, was that we needed to bring in the elements and honor the elements. And so we're okay, sure, and we did. But I don't know if we realized how much they would continue to play through, and sure, our sun signs resonate with a certain element, right? And between the four of us, we covered earth, air, fire, and water. But we would also move through the experience of different elements being that kind of nurturing guardian nature. I know for me, I'm very air according to my birth chart, but then my NDE chart is very earth-based. But I found what I connected most with was water here. Water to me was, they were all amazing, but water was something that came through more and more and more. So it was neat how we ebbed and flowed.
Yeah, and I feel like I always connect with water, earth, and fire. But yesterday, the air, I was hanging my head out of the car, just couldn't get enough air. It was just receiving all of the goodness of Maui. I just felt it in the air. It just it brought me in with her, So I connected a lot to air, more than I ever have before, for sure.
And even on our the places that we were going that were more symbolic of air, these crazy winds came in. Like, it's not been windy. And then yesterday and today, it's like gale force winds. It's bananas. And came out of nowhere. And even last night, we were having this beautiful ceremony. And the candle kept blowing out, and it was like winds of change, winds of change. And, you know, we'd be talking, and the wind is like flipping our hair all over the place. And it was so incredible. I've not experienced the elements show up so specifically like that.
Yeah.
In a like day-to-day life or spiritual experience. I have not.
Yeah.
So, what would you say, like, what was your most favorite place?
The waterfalls.
The waterfalls?
Yes.
And what do you feel that, like, what was your lesson in the waterfall?
I think my lesson in general in this whole experience was, like, my soul, or how I'm expressing as a human, was really felt like it was being held back for a reason that I couldn't explain, and I didn't identify yet. Mm-hmm. And what happened in Maui was, at the beginning, I felt this like pulsating of almost anger that was coming to the surface because I didn't know how to express it. I didn't know how to fully let go and receive. And once that kind of popped off in my little experience on that ledge, the waterfalls washed away all the kind of like residue that I had been holding on to for lifetimes. And it allowed me to fully step forward in a vulnerability and receptivity for what was to come. Mm-hmm. And that ceremonial moment of it washing away, I just was like hollering underneath the waterfall, and it charged my soul to be able to really receive then the rest of the lessons from the island, which was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was the ceremonious kind of part for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I think I spent a lot of it kind of like receiving, and I've been on spiritual journeys where spirit is really loud and present and like kind of in your face, and you're having these profound, like mind-blowing moments and understandings. And what I found with Maui, which I started to understand when we were in the lava tubes. So I mean, all of them, the waterfall was a big one for me too. The lava tubes, though, is where I really started to feel the energy of Gaia and this safe space and this gentle guidance and this creation. And that's where, to me, in the lava tubes, the idea started to come to me that when on Maui, the energy of the land here essentially is asking you, what do you want? What would you like to experience? So, I mean, people can come to Maui and experience chaos, if that's maybe what they're looking for or they're needing, but you can also choose sort of what it is you want. And then Maui and the energy and the spirit and our guides will walk with us. They're not going to tell us what to do, but it's more like, what would you like to experience? We can meet you there. We can show up with you there. And I really felt that in the lava tubes, like that. And it was warm in the lava tubes. And I'm not used to going into a cave where it's not freezing cold, right? And I found the lava tube was so warm, and there was moisture, so it wasn't dry. It was like nurturing. And we turned all our flashlights off too, right? And we stood there in pitch black, and nothing about that was eerie. It was like
safe.
You know, so that was a highlight. How about you?
I feel like this is my answer whenever someone asks me, what's your favorite thing? I'm like, I can't pick one. So I'll just caveat with, I can never pick a favorite of anything ever. I don't know. But I do actually feel that because each experience had, for me, it was like these pillars of my life and of self that were coming up, that have been, going on for a while, that really each place kind of highlighted different pieces, and then wind brought it together. So, for me, there was a beautiful experience at the waterfall. There was some really deep understandings. The top of Haleakala, I think, really stands out just because it was like we were in a different world. Although everywhere we were in a different world. See, I said a favorite. And
that
was
hardcore. Yeah, that was
hardcore.
Yeah, there was this mist, and it was like you were just in the heavens, like what it felt like. You were just not on this planet anymore. But then we went into the depths of the earth in the lava tube, and it was like when we turned off the lights, like Ginette was saying, it was so warm, and it felt like if you've ever experienced a float tank, where it's like
Yeah.
You're just in the middle of nowhere. There's some things going on.
Yeah, like there must be like
Someone's
yard
cutting
work
the lawn.
happening.
Just rolling with it.
That's
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
That's about right.
Listen to the soft, subtle sounds of the ocean.
He's literally mowing the lawn right outside our friend. Oh, and he's parking it.
This is so funny. This is the beauty of what happens here. We roll with it.
All to say. Oh, there it goes. All to say. For me, each place had a very different experience. Even, we teased about this, I became one with the ocean.
Yes, you did.
She did.
Like-
She was so brave.
Like multiple times. I don't know where it comes from because I've never had a negative experience in water. I love the lakes that I go to with my family. I feel I'm a confident swimmer. The ocean has always had this fear associated with it for me. And I was like that first place, even when we went to La Perouse Bay and it's like rocky and like not an easy breeze to get in. And I was like wandering in and I'm like, okay, look at me, I'm brave. And then we went to this next beach and I was like in the
She was
water.
the first one in the water
Yeah.
out of all of us.
You just walked in and dunked. Just like boom.
And here we go.
There we go.
Yeah, and then like Lisa and I, and that was like pretty gentle water. So I'm like rationalizing it in my brain of like, this is safe. I can see everything, not that big of waves, it's all good. But then even just off here, you and I were in the water for like an hour.
Yeah,
and we were getting
hopping those waves.
served.
We were.
Mama
all of a
Ocean was like,
like didn't make that one.
Yeah.
But we stayed in
we
there.
did, yeah. I even got like served up on the ocean or up on the beach at one point. But so even that experience was like such a deep experience with water for me. That was something that I didn't expect, even though the waterfalls was a really beautiful water experience. So yeah, each one had a different kind of like piece of the puzzle, and then it kind of wrapped up.
Yeah. You know, I think though there was something really, really magical about the water in the ocean here. Because I know on the first day we went out to, connect with the water and ask for permission like we do when we do work on the land, and the ocean responded right away with like splashes, and I found the ocean was responding to a lot. And it was inviting, and it was cleansing, and it was refreshing, and like it changed your relationship with ocean.
Yeah.
Like the ocean really came alive here.
Yeah. And we saw giant turtles.
Yeah.
did.
That was really cool.
They were huge.
They were huge.
They're huge.
We got called to this like random beach at the end of one of the days, and then
Baby beach.
Yeah, baby beach, and then all of a sudden these like big beautiful turtles are just having their little afternoon snack on the reef. And
Yeah.
it was just a
so
magical
cool.
experience.
Yeah.
It was. So I guess all to say that, spiritual journeys can be had anywhere. Really. It's when you choose to connect into the land and connect into the energy, connect into your soul, and work with that extra element, like that fifth element, to be led and to walk with you where you want to go. Any place can be magical. But I think Maui specific, for me anyway, is a beautiful place for people to come to for healing of their soul, an awakening of a new journey. Really, it can be anything. I think Maui
Right.
provides for what you need. You just need to ask.
Yeah, and I think that was the overwhelming lesson, and even just to take home. And anybody who's watching who's really craving that kind of spiritual experience or that connection to spirit and Gaia. We were talking about expectations, and one of them being, I expect to have a very big spiritual experience, which we did, but not in the way that we expected, right? So at home, you don't have to come to Maui to be connected to spirit and to have a very spiritual experience, because we learn, you ask. And sometimes we get frustrated. We're we're not getting anything. It's just quiet. Why am I getting nothing? It's just, I'm asking and I want answers, but lots of times, especially right now, Spirit's what do you want? Let me walk beside you, guide you through it, and help you with these little synchronicities and symbols. But ultimately, you're leading.
Yeah.
This is your book.
Yeah. What do you want?
Another, beautiful remembering of that is we talked before about the Lemuria energy here, and we were like, it's going to be so at the forefront, and we bought all our Lemurian crystals and our card book, and in my mind, I thought like, oh, it's just going to be so in our face and present all the time, forgetting that like Lemuria is feminine energy. It's soft and it's gentle, and it was present, but in the true essence of itself, which is the soft, gentle flow of things.
Yeah.
And so it didn't really, in my mind, show up in the forefront until Lois pointed out a beautiful, at the very last day, a Lemurian license plate.
Yeah.
It was just like right in front of us. And it was like, oh, it's been with us
We've
all
been
the time.
we've been with you the whole time.
Yeah,
we didn't have to knock you on your head.
Yeah,
We're already with you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the land.
Yeah.
So we did in a very sacred, beautiful, fun way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had the best full moon ceremony last night. It was full moon last night.
Yeah.
So we had like a round table with our candle and our crystals and our cards, and it was so beautiful.
It was a nice way to bring in those winds of change and move forward into the new energy that's coming in 2023. Right?
Yeah.
A lighter, feels like a feminine-based energy, to be honest. So
Set your intentions.
yeah,
Ask for what you want, and Spirit's right there beside you.
Even if it doesn't look like it, look like the way you want it
Trust.
to, or look like the way you think it's going to, just circling back to that.
Ease
trusting.
and grace.
Ease
That
and
was
grace.
our
Yeah.
motto this week. Ease and grace. So thanks for joining us on location.
yeah.
And,
Bearing with all the noises.
yeah, all the noises. But we'll see you next week. Thanks so much.